Hello darlings and welcome to my channel. Today I'll be teaching you how to draft a basic female block, which is the first step in making a 1905 plunge front corset. So the basic body block is a pattern that's unique to whoever you're drafting it for. In this case it would be yourself. It's the foundation for any pattern drafting. It's basically your 3D shape in a 2D drawing. You can use this to make any pattern fit any type of body. It's really great to know how to do that, and it allows you to draft very accurate patterns. The measurements required to draft the female basic body block, which is what we'll be doing because it deals with bust measurements, which is important for a corset. You need your bust measurement, your waist measurement, and your hip measurement, the three foundational measurements, as well as your nape to waist measurement on the back, your waist to hip measurement, your across back measurement, across chest measurement, point to point measurement, which is point to point of the bust, and your neck measurement. That's what you need for the female basic body block. Now you take those measurements you just measured and get to do some fun and funky math to turn them into the numbers you'll actually use to draft the basic body block. So you have a half bust, half waist, half hip, full nape to waist back, full waist to hip, half across back, half across chest, half point to point, but only 1/5 neck. Quick pro tip for making the basic body block. Make sure to clearly mark which point is which. We will be referring back to different points, using them for different measurements. So make sure you know which point is which. I cannot stress this enough. Otherwise you'll be so lost and so confused, and pattern might turn out a little funky, which we don't want because we want it to be clear and precise. So yes, make sure to mark every point very clearly. We will be referring back to them. All right, now let's make a basic female block. To begin the basic block, we are going to be drawing a rectangle in which everything else will be drawn. So the first measurement is your half bust measurement plus 2.5 centimeters. And that would be points A to B. Next, you're going to take points A to C, which is the nape to waist back measure plus 2.5 centimeters plus the waist to hip measure. This line is also going to be your center back line, or you can just shorten that to CB. Next is point B to D. This should be equal to A to C, obviously, and is your center front line, or the CF line. And lastly, you have C to D to finish off the rectangle, which should be equal to A to B. And this is going to be the hip line. Now that we have our rectangle, we're going to start drafting the block back. So it will be all over by the CB line, the center back line. First, you're going to have point A to point 1, which is your 2.5 centimeters back neck point. Okay, so that will be the neckline, your nape. Next, you're going to go 1 to 2, and that's your nape to waist measure. Next, you're going to go across 2 to 3 and just square across. That's going to be your waistline. Now you're going to go back up 0.1 and drop it down to 4. And that's going to be a half measurement of 1 to 2, plus 1.3 centimeters. Next is 4 to 5, square across again, all the way from center back to center front, and that's going to be the bust line. Next, 1 to 6, which is the half measurement of 1 to 4. Next, we've got 0.6 to 0.7, which is square across half of your across back measurement. Next, you've got 0.1 to 0.8, which is a half measurement of 1 to 6 minus 2 centimeters. Next, 8 to 9, which is square across, half across back measure plus 1.5 centimeters, and that's the across shoulder line. Then 7 to 10, you square up to the shoulder line. 7 to 11, square down to bust line. 4 to 12 is a half measurement of 4 to 5, minus 1.3 centimeters. Then you have 12 to 13, which is just squaring down to the hip line. Next, 1 to 14, which is your 1/5 neck measurement. Then 14 to 15, you just square up 1.3 centimeters. Next, 1 to 15, you just sort of connect with a deep concave curve, just sort of round out that neckline. Then 15 to 9, you just connect that with a straight line. Next, 11 to 16. So basically, you're drawing a 2 centimeter line at a 45-degree angle to the 11 to 12 line. So this is a guide for the position and shape of your front armhole, but the angle of this curve will depend on the size of your pattern. Then you get to connect 9 through 7 and through 16 all the way to 12, and you just sort of connect that with a concave curve. I didn't have a concave curve ruler, so it was just a lot of fun for me to sort of hand sketch that out. I had ordered one, but because of everything, COVID, it was still in Las Vegas at the time, I believe. Now we're going to move over to the center front line and start the front neck and shoulder area. So we're going to go from 0.5 up to 0.17, and this is 1/10 of the nape to waist back measurement. And you can take this from your pattern between points 1 and 2, which is the nape to waist measurement. Okay, next we're going to go all the way up to the upper right corner to point B and across to point 18, which is 1/5 of the neck measure minus 0.7 centimeters. Then you're going to go back to B and go down to 1/5 the neck measure plus 3 centimeters. Then you're going to connect those 2 points with a straight line. Next, point B to 20, you draw a line at 45-degree angle to meet the line from 18 to 19. And then extend point 20 by 1.5 centimeters to find point 21. Then connect 18 through 21 to 19 with a concave curve, and that will be the front neckline. Next, go back to point 18 and across to 22. This is going to be the shoulder length, which is 15 to 19, minus 0.6 centimeters. Then square down 5 centimeters to find point 23. This provides the position and angle of the front shoulder. Next, we're going to calculate your dart size. So this is 3/5 of your bust measure minus your across chest measure, and then divide that by 3. Now you're going to use that number and go from 18 through 23 to point 24, which is your shoulder length plus your individual dart size. Next, we go back to the bust line, point 5, and you'll go to point 25, which is your half point-to-point measure. That's how you find 25. Then you square that up to the shoulder line to find point 26, and then you go from point 25 to 27 to 28 by squaring that point down to the waistline and hip line. For this next bit, we're going to stay by the center front line and find the female basic body block, front bust dart, and armhole. So you go from point 25 down 2.5 centimeters, and that's point 29. And then you go from point 26 and follow that line for 2 centimeters, and you'll find point 30. Then connect 30 and 29 with a straight line. Then, following the shoulder line, go from point 30 to your bust dart size, which we calculated earlier, to find point 31. Now that's going to be your dart, your bust dart, obviously. So the position of your dart may be closer to the guideline, but sort of 22 to 23, but for larger bust sizes, it may fall just on the other side of point 23. This is all, the picture I'm showing you, the example, it's all a guideline. So it should look generally like this, but obviously people have different measurements, so the points might be moved around just a little bit. So measure line 30 to 29, and then transfer this measurement to create line 29 through 31 to find point 32. Okay, and make sure the line 30 to 29 is the same length as 29 to 32. Then to find point 33, it's the half measurement of 31 to 30. Then for 33 to 34, square up at a 90-degree angle from line 30 to 31 to hit the top line A to B. Then 24 to 35, you connect point 24 through the top of point 32 to find point 35 on the 33 to 34 line. Then for 35 to 30, just connect that with a straight line. From point 17, you square across to find point 36, and to the dart to find point 37. Okay, so for point 38, you're going to go from 17, and this is your half across chest measure plus the measurement between the points 36 to 37. So draw a line from 17 through 36 and 37 to find point 38. So that means that 17 to 37 plus 36 to 38 equals the half across chest measure. So you're sort of splitting up that measurement to go around the bust dart line. Then to find point 39, simply square down from 38 to the bust line. And then for point 40, you draw a 2 centimeter line at a 45-degree angle. And this will be the guide of your back armhole. But the angle of the curve will depend on the size of your pattern. And then, last but not least, Connect points 24 through 38 and 40 to 12 with a concave curve. And ta-da! It's the front armhole. So this basic block pattern doesn't have any waist darts or side seam suppression, but if for other patterns you would want to add that, but just how it is right now is it's ready to adapt into corset patterns, which is what we're going to be doing. Well, that's all for today. Be sure to hit that like button and comment below if you found this tutorial helpful, confusing, or just want to suggest a project for me to try out. If you'd like to see more from me, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified when I upload a new video. I'll see you all in the next installment of my corset making journey, drafting the corset pattern and even more math. Bye for now.